happens when the world's most legendary off-roader decides that four wheels are no longer enough. You get the insane new Toyota Land Cruiser. And no, this is not some overbuilt Hollywood movie prop. Toyota looks ready to push the Land Cruiser into a completely different category. Bigger road presence, more capability, more luxury, and honestly, more attitude. But here's the real question. Does anyone actually need a six-wheeled Land Cruiser? Or is this just a rich man flex machine, designed for Dubai highways and Instagram reels? Today we are breaking down everything about the 2027 Land Cruiser 6x6 from a real user perspective. The design, interior technology, AI systems driving feel, practicality, and even the problems nobody talks about. So before you say, "Take my money," watch this till the end, because this thing is both brilliant and slightly ridiculous at the same time. The first thing you notice is the size. This thing doesn't enter the road quietly. It arrives like a tank that somehow learned luxury manners. Toyota kept the classic Land Cruiser DNA alive, but stretched it into something that looks straight up intimidating. The front still carries that strong, squared-off Land Cruiser face with massive LED lighting. But now the body is much longer and wider because of that extra axle at the rear. And honestly, from certain angles, it almost looks like the Land Cruiser and a military vehicle had a baby. The six-wheel setup completely changes the personality of the SUV. Normally, Land Cruisers look classy and rugged. This one looks like it could tow a building. The wide fenders, huge off-road tires, and lifted suspension give it a monster truck vibe without becoming cartoonish. And thankfully, Toyota didn't overload it with fake vents and unnecessary styling drama. That's important because some modern SUVs try too hard to look futuristic. This one still feels mechanical, tough and believable. But let's be real for a second. Parking. This thing will probably feel like trying to dock a yacht at Walmart. Imagine driving through tight city streets or squeezing into underground parking. Some owners are definitely going to regret buying the long version after the first 3-point turn becomes a 15-point turn. And that's exactly why this review is honest. Cool factor extremely high. Daily usability questionable. Inside, the cabin looks expensive without becoming over-designed. Toyota finally understands that luxury buyers want simplicity, mixed with technology, not 50 screens attacking their eyeballs. The dashboard design is clean, horizontal and properly premium. Soft leather everywhere, real metal trim. Open pore wood and physical buttons that still exist, thankfully. Because honestly, nobody wants to adjust AC temperature through 5 touchscreen menus while driving off-road. The seats are expected to be massive and insanely comfortable. Front seats will probably include heating, ventilation, massage functions, and memory settings. The second row captain chairs could honestly feel better than business class airline seats, and because of the stretched body, third row passengers finally won't feel punished for existing. There's real space back there now. Now here's something interesting. Toyota may turn this into the ultimate adventure luxury SUV. Imagine fold-out camping accessories, integrated coolers, hidden storage systems, and modular cargo setups. This could become the dream vehicle for rich overlanders. You could literally drive into the desert for a week and still carry enough gear to survive comfortably. But again, practicality has two sides. Yes, cargo capacity becomes massive, but fuel economy probably horrifying. Tire replacement costs, your wallet may start crying. 6 tires are not cheap, especially if Toyota uses giant off-road rubber. Technology is where things get really interesting. Toyota has been slightly behind German luxury brands in flashy tech, but this Land Cruiser may finally change that. Expect a huge curved infotainment display, advanced voice assistant systems, over-the-air software updates, and a fully digital driver cluster with customizable off-road displays. And yes, AI is becoming part of the conversation now. Toyota could introduce predictive terrain management, where the SUV learns your driving behavior and automatically adjusts suspension, throttle response, traction control, and differential settings depending on the environment. Sounds futuristic, but honestly, it makes sense for a vehicle like this. Imagine climbing rocky terrain while the SUV actively analyzes wheel hundreds of times per second. The AI system could detect slipping before the driver even notices it. That's crazy and slightly scary too, because some people still prefer mechanical simplicity over computers controlling everything. Would you trust AI completely during an off-road trip deep in the mountains? Or do you still prefer old-school mechanical control? Tell me in the comments, because this debate is getting serious now in the car world. Performance-wise, Toyota will probably not go full electric here. That would honestly disappoint hardcore Land Cruiser fans. The smarter move would be a twin-turbo V6 hybrid setup, producing serious torque, maybe somewhere around 500 horsepower. With massive low-end pulling power, and for a heavy six-wheel SUV, torque matters way more than top speed. This thing is expected to dominate rough terrain, sand dunes, mud trails. Rocky climbs. That extra axle could provide unbelievable traction. Compared to normal luxury SUVs like the Mercedes-Benz G-Class or even the Range Rover, the Land Cruiser 6X6 would probably feel far more purpose-built for actual off-roading, but let's not pretend physics disappears. This SUV will still be huge and heavy. Fast cornering, forget it. Tight handling, absolutely not. You're driving a luxury fortress, not a sports car, and honestly, that's fine because buyers of this vehicle probably care more about commanding presence than Nürburgring lap times. The driving feel will likely focus on confidence and isolation. Expect soft adaptive suspension, soaking up terrible roads like they don't exist. Highway cruising should feel effortless. The cabin will probably stay whisper quiet even at high speeds. And thanks to the long wheelbase, stability should feel incredible. However, there's another side nobody mentions. Bigger vehicles create driving anxiety for some people. Not everyone enjoys piloting something this enormous daily. Fuel stations, parking lots. Narrow roads, every small task becomes slightly more stressful. So buyers need to be honest with themselves before chasing the fantasy. Safety should be top tier, because Toyota knows this SUV will attract wealthy families. And high-profile buyers expect advanced driver assistance systems, 360-degree cameras, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, night vision assistance, and probably level 2 or partial level 3 autonomous driving features. And honestly, 6 wheels might also improve stability during emergency situations. More tire contact with the road can create better grip and control, especially during towing or off-road recovery situations. Now let's talk market positioning, because this vehicle enters a weird but fascinating category. It's not just competing with luxury SUVs anymore. It enters the ultra-luxury adventure segment. Think wealthy explorers, desert safari owners, influencers, oil-rich collectors, and hardcore off-road enthusiasts who want something nobody else has. And Toyota actually has one massive advantage over some European rivals: reliability, reputation. Because when people hear Land Cruiser, they think durability, they think surviving deserts, mountains, wars, floods, and terrible roads without complaining. That reputation matters more than flashy ambient lighting. Expected pricing will probably shock people, though. Don't expect normal Land Cruiser numbers. This six-wheel monster could easily start around $180,000 to $250,000 US, depending on customization and drivetrain options. Fully loaded versions may climb even higher. Expected launch timing most likely late 2026 reveal, with production beginning sometime in 2027 if Toyota officially greenlights the project globally. And honestly, I think this SUV makes more sense than people will admit. Not because everyone needs 6 wheels. Obviously they don't. But because halo vehicles create excitement. They remind people why they fell in love with cars in the first place. Emotion presence. Capability madness. The 2027 Land Cruiser 6X6 feels like one of those vehicles you never truly need, but you desperately want anyway. So here's the final verdict. If Toyota actually builds this thing properly, without turning it into an overpriced gimmick, it could become one of the most iconic SUVs of the decade. It looks brutal, luxurious, adventurous, and unique enough to stand out in a market full of boring crossovers. But buyers also need to understand the compromises. It'll be expensive, huge, difficult to park, and definitely not practical for everybody. Still, if your dream SUV looks like it could survive the apocalypse, while carrying 5-star luxury inside, this Land Cruiser might become unbeatable. So now I want to hear from you. Would you actually buy a 6-wheeled Land Cruiser? Or would you rather stick with the regular version and save a fortune? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is going to get wild. And if you enjoyed this honest review, subscribe to Avengers Autos, smash that like button, and turn on notifications. Because we bring you real car content without fake hype, without corporate drama, and without pretending every new SUV is perfect. More crazy future vehicles are coming soon. And trust me, the next one might be even more insane.